Welcome back, everybody. Serious subjects this morning. If you think you have a sexual abuse case involving the church or a clergy person, you don't have to go it alone anymore, especially since now the Child Victims Act has been passed. Our next guest, attorney Steve Boyd from Jeff Anderson and Associates, is here to help you get justice with a client whose sexual abuse case from the 1990s is going forward. And we want to welcome Chris Scaflita, who is here with today. Scaflita. Nice to have you both here.
Great to be here.
We started off with Jed talking about how these are sad cases, Steve, but it's a victory for the victims.
Yeah, it's double-sided, right?
Right.
It's a victory because there's some very brave people like Chris who came forward a long time ago, and it was a long fight to get the Child Victims Act passed, about 12 years plus. And the act was passed on February 14th with a 6-month delay. Today is the first day that the new law is in effect, and so yeah, it's a victory, but we're constantly reminded that it comes in the face of a tragedy that young kids like Chris, when he was young, were dragged into.
You actually did a story on Chris back when?
1994. Chris was the first of my stories who was willing to show his face and his name, and Chris did the interview over at 14 Holy Helpers, right, Chris? And back then, this was unheard of, to see an actual person. Everyone back then the courageous people that came forward would often come forward in the shadows with their voices disguised because there was such a stigma involved.
But Chris, why did you then decide to come public and to show your face?
At the time, there was another case going on in Buffalo, a lawsuit with another child, and Bishop came on TV and he called us all nameless, faceless people. And I said, no, I have a name and I have a face, and this has to stop.
That just, I could cry when I hear that. Because Steve, have been so many people who have valid cases who know what happened to them. And we're told, statute of limitations is up. You got nothing.
And now, thanks to the courage of the people that have been lobbying for so long, thanks to the courage of the State Assembly and the Senate and the governor for signing this, it passed unanimously. We have a 1-year window for people of any age, and they don't have to use their name the way Chris has. We won a motion just yesterday to allow all of the plaintiffs' lawyers to bring lawsuits under like Jane Doe, John Doe type names. And one of the things, it's not just that Jed and I are brothers-in-law, but all of the lawyers in this space are working very cooperatively with each other. Because if we know about certain perpetrators and they know about certain perpetrators, we can help each other.
Now, Jed said something that really sparked my interest. He said the church could actually declare bankruptcy?
It's happened in 19 other dioceses where they use that as a strategy. The problem with bankruptcy for us is that it stops the discovery process.
Right.
And for many of our clients, this isn't about money. This is about truth.
Right.
This is about the justice of getting the truth out there and known. And that's really important to a lot of our clients. So we see bankruptcy as a cop-out. We see it as just a legal strategy. And we don't see it as a manner in which our clients will get true justice, because it isn't just about money.
Right. No, absolutely not. Chris, what are you hoping to see come from this in the future for yourself?
For myself, I just want, I want them to come clean. I want them to make the wrong right. That's first, okay? Bishop I think he had something on TV yesterday also, and he said there hasn't been any new victims, okay? And that may be so, but it takes a long time for a survivor to get the courage to even talk to anyone. So it may not be another 20 years before we can find out if he's telling the truth.
That brings up a good point too, Steve. How many victims do you think are still out there?
80 to 85% of the people who were sexually abused as kids never tell anyone. And so when we filed 83 lawsuits last night against the Diocese of Buffalo. We filed 30 lawsuits against the Diocese of Rochester. And we have probably 50 more cases that we're preparing against Buffalo. And then we have school cases and scout cases. When you think about that and think that 85% of the folks out there may never tell anyone, it's sad, it's tragic, because these are just little kids.
And we put our kids in their care thinking we were doing the right thing.
Right.
And hoping that we were doing the right thing, thinking we could trust these people. And these people who were the people we trusted are the ones who who just used that trust to do what they wanted to do.
And when you think about it, having been raised Catholic, an altar boy,
me too.
When you think about how we thought of the church in the 70s when we were growing up, it is such a betrayal. It is such a betrayal.
So, Chris, what do you think is the timeline? And Steve, that's a good question for you now about this case.
For myself, I guess I don't know what the church is going to do. It could be they might go bankrupt. We don't know what that outcome is going to be.
And that would be a local bankruptcy, or?
That would be the Diocese of Buffalo filing in federal bankruptcy
Can you
court.
go past that? All you got to do is go to Rome and say, I don't think they're bankrupt.
Well, this isn't the kind of bankruptcy where they go out of business. This is a reorganization, so there could still be settlements after bankruptcy. For example, the Diocese of Duluth filed in December of 15. They settled 125 cases for $44 million in April of this year. So there still could be settlements, but what there won't be is a reckoning. There won't be the ability to ask the bishop the hard questions and ask the ex-bishops the hard questions about what they knew and when they knew it and why they didn't do anything about it.
Chris, good luck and
Thank you
Godspeed.
very much. Okay.
Steve, with
great
all
night.
the people who may be contacting you and who already have, we're gonna thank everyone, and please, you see what it says up here? It says call our confidential number. Please go ahead and do that if you feel you need to speak with Steve Boyd and his associates about this subject that we're speaking about today. And remember, the Child Victims Act has been passed. So if in the past you thought that you did not have a claim, well, it's a new day. It's a new day for the victims.
That's right.
Good luck. Good luck,
Thank you
Chris.
very much.
Take a break and be right back.